Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hi guys! So, an eventful week. I did go to the beach like I said I would. Might have overestimated how hot it was going to be. It was freezing cold. We had a little bit of rain. Needless to say, the summer dress and sandals was a bad move. The water was actually surprisingly warm though. We did have a bit of a paddle. The dogs, as you can see here, absolutely loved it. They went absolutely nutty. So whilst we didn't sit down and eat our pre-packed egg sandwiches on the beach, we did have a nice walk around, but we had a really pleasant surprise. As we were walking to the edge of the harbour, which is Rye Harbour, I saw seals. My husband said, no, they're not, they're rocks. When we got closer, I didn't get an apology. You know what men are like. And he was like, oh yeah, well, they look like rocks. And I was like, so I was right then. It was obviously a drop-off point because they were clearly all pups. So I think the mums came along, dumped them off there. You've got one kind of adolescent seal here. Must be like the babysitter that got lumbered with it. Not quite big enough to go with the adults yet. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, we didn't get too close. We had the dogs. The dogs were good. You know, they didn't bark or anything, but we kept them on the leads. It drives me insane when people let their dogs off and they know there's wildlife around. Not long after these pictures were taken, sadly, someone kind of let their Jack Russell run over to them. And so they all kind of swam away, which is sad because it ruined it for a lot of other people that were just walking over to come see them. But at the same time, they are wild animals. But dude, seriously, put your dog on a lead. Now, before I get on with the video, I've got some great news to tell you. This channel has officially gone over 80,000 subscribers. Over 80,000 of you have liked and subscribed my videos. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I couldn't have done it without, well, all of you. Now, on a serious note, a massive thank you to all of you that supported this channel, all of the donations that you guys have given. That really helped me out in times when I was really struggling to keep going with the channel. And yeah, I've made loads of friends doing it, and I'm really happy with how this channel seems to be going. And for those of you that follow me on Twitter as well, so a big fat thank you. Right, let's get on with the video. Got to take the tiara off though, little bit uncomfortable. So I've done a little switcheroo with the videos. My next video was going to be covering the new bits of information we had in Finding Freedom. I'm saving that until tomorrow because we had exciting news. I'm not the only person celebrating. Yes, Piers Morgan has won a great victory. Ofcom have decided, after the massive amount of complaints which actually led to Piers Morgan leaving his job on Good Morning Britain, that it has in fact cleared Piers and ITV of any wrongdoing. In fact, the actual official statement that they gave, a chilling restriction of freedom of expression. Now that, can you imagine? Harry's probably like, whoa! Flying teapots, saucers, cups. The House of Montecito is going to be a swear pit today or yesterday, whenever she got the news. Can you imagine her waking up to that? Yes, Piers has been cleared of any wrongdoing, which also now makes ITV look absolutely shocking for their treatment of him. Just a reminder of what happened. Harry and Meghan did the big Oprah tell-all. So naturally this was aired to the world, and Piers Morgan said that he just didn't believe a word that she said. That was pretty much it. He was not defining any particular thing in there. He just said he didn't believe anything. You know, Princess Pinocchio. He just thought that it was completely untrue. This then got manipulated very quickly to say that Piers doesn't care that Meghan was suicidal. Piers is attacking people's mental health. Even Mind Charity got involved to admonish him. That's not what he said, but it got quickly twisted and people went for it. So there was a mad flush of complaints, which in addition with Piers having an argument with Alex the weatherman on Good Morning Britain, it basically turned into a big hoo-ha. Meghan exercised her privilege of marrying Harry and actually called ITV top dogs to complain. And she also wrote a letter to Dame Carolyn McCall, who is the chief executive of ITV, and demanded Piers's head on a plate. I've taken those words from the horse's mouth. But the point was, Meghan exercised here something. She used her privilege, and this is a word that drives me insane. It's up there with woke, it's up with all the other stuff that gets bandied around. But this is a perfect example of Meghan using her status, a social hierarchy, her rank in life, to be able to contact Carolyn McCall directly. And she wrote her a letter basically saying that she wanted a public apology from Piers. Now, some people said that Piers was sacked. He was not sacked. He quit. He did not quit
it directly after he walked out of the studio after Alex attacked him live on TV, which, to be fair, Piers is a hothead, and I think Alex was really overstepping. But again, like the Sharon Osbourne thing with The Voice, I can't help but feel it was set up knowing that Piers was going to be really, really triggered. But give Piers his absolute dues. He stuck by what he said. They demanded that he give Meghan a public apology, and he turned around and said, stuff your job. Now, I don't even know, and I don't want to know how much Piers Morgan's salary is. And whilst he's obviously a very rich man already, the fact that he has probably just walked away on a huge salary by just going, do you know what, stuff you. I think that's absolutely admirable, and I really hope now that people have more guts to actually stand by their convictions. So many people we see say something and then they get attacked by the cancel culture, and then they issue an apology. You're like, don't apologise. You're giving these people power to cancel the next person and the next person. I mean, Carolyn McCall, this ITV exec, clearly being seduced by Meghan's pleas of both being women and mothers, she didn't think twice about actually backing Piers, or the very, very least, just wait until Ofcom did their investigations to find out if he really was at fault. But she didn't. She went with the masses and went, no, that's it, right, you apologise. I don't know if she threatened him, basically, apologies or you're out. But either way, Piers jumped before they could push. But her quick reaction to this has definitely backfired. This is why I say Meghan is absolutely toxic for anyone to get involved. Over 300 million immediately came off the stock market for ITV when Piers left. He is their golden goose. He was on there to be controversial, to give his opinions. And then they pushed him into quitting because he gave his opinion. Who is Meghan Markle to have this much power? Why are they so frightened to actually turn around and go, Piers is actually employed to do this. We're sorry that you disagree. We'll see what Ofcom says. But they didn't. I tell you why, because of that R word. We all know what that word is. Now, obviously, Omid was quick to jump to the defence of Meghan in this, but he cited the Human Rights Act. Yes, he tried to say that Piers was in breach of the Human Rights Act. With all the atrocities happening in the world, and this is what's actually invoked him to try and undermine Piers' victory. He's saying he's in breach of it because Piers attacked Meghan's mental health. But what does Omid think the Oprah interview did to the rest of the royal family? What about the Queen? What about her mental health? Her husband was dying in hospital when they unleashed all of that. Finding freedom. I mean, that cast a blanket by those racism allegations over every single member of the royal family. Catherine and William had to increase their security because they got a number of death threats because of the revelations that came out in Omid's book and on Oprah and on Dax Shepard. So if he feels that Piers giving his opinion is actually breaching the Human Rights Act, then so is Meghan and so has he. Now, this victory for Piers, for me, is more than just this Harry and Meghan debacle. It is only a small segment of it. Whilst I'm really, really happy that it seems, as Jane Moore said, a cold bucket of water has finally been poured onto this train that Harry and Meghan seem to be on of victimhood. It's actually a victory for freedom of speech. Daily, I see it being squashed. I see people being cancelled. Now, don't get me wrong, certain people should have been cancelled a long time ago. But there's other people that get death threats and all sorts of things thrown at them because they dare to have a different opinion. Woke is now weaponised, as is racism. It's used to attack and silence people through fear, and that's exactly the words that Harry and Meghan ironically use. Reporters, journalists, everyday people are harassed and bullied on social media, and they're cancelled or they quit their accounts. It is absolutely savage in the world of social media. Yet again, with Harry and Meghan's fan base are really responsible for a massive chunk of some of the attacks on the royal reporters. It's absolute irony that Meghan tried to get Piers cancelled, just like her friend Jessica did with Sasha Exeter. People said it was white privilege. I'm not sure it was white privilege, but it was definitely privilege. That's exactly what Meghan has used to try and get Piers cancelled, and it caused him to quit his job. I truly hope that Piers winning this and Ofcom's response actually gives a kind of new energy to people, that maybe the ones that have apologised, that have backed down. I mean, poor Sharon Osbourne, she apologised and she didn't do anything wrong. She was completely attacked by colleagues she thought were her friends, and it was all one big setup. As I said, I've got my suspicions that Alex was given a bit more fuel to his fire that day that he went for Piers. Let's be honest, whether you like Piers or you don't like Piers, you stick a red flag in front of his face, he's gonna charge. And the bit that upset Piers, that upsets Sharon, that upsets all of the people that ever speak out about this Harry and Meghan debacle is the fact that people throw racism at us. And it's a way to suppress people. It's a way to intimidate people. It's a way to frighten people because we're so scared that people are going to call us racist and think we are. Just because someone said it. I'm sorry, but whether you're mixed race, biracial, whether your parents come from any country in the world, no matter what skin colour you are, what gender you are, what religion you are, it doesn't mean you get to hide, you get a pass, you get a free pass, let's go, on the Monopoly board. You don't. You have to be held accountable for your actions the same as everyone else. I really hope that Piers doesn't go back to GMB. I don't think that at the moment, they're saying that they haven't offered him his job, but I hope if they do, that he just tells them to stuff it. Go over to GB News or something. Go over to another news channel. Whether you love Piers or you hate Piers or like the whole Meghan thing, people love to hate them. People still watch and read about them. It's the same for Piers. ITV don't deserve him. When you think that they turned their back on him and they demanded that he bow down to a spoiled narcissistic diva who should never have been allowed in a month of given Sundays to use her rank through marriage and her position in life to try and get Piers sacked. They lost their golden goose. They lost over 300 million off of their stock shares. They lost thousands of viewers all over. 57,121 Ofcom complaints. Yet we had roughly about 160,000 people sign a petition to have Piers back, which pretty much near enough 3 times the number of people that were like, we agree with him, we want him back, this is really wrong. And as for that 57,000 Ofcom complaints, how many of those come from the same IP address? I'm pretty sure I've got my suspicions. We've seen the mob culture, the online mob culture. We have seen the cancel culture. What they do is they go, this person, let's take them down. Let's mass complain about them, harass their employers and say that they're racist and get them sacked. ITV gave in to that crowd. That to me is just truly disgusting. So Piers must be riding high from his victory. Yes, he actually managed to beat that. Brilliant. And it's a big fat to Meghan. And I love that. As I said, teapots will be flying around the House of Montecito. People have been commenting all over social media going, I'd love to be a fly on the wall. You probably wouldn't. Piers and his gorgeous wife were seen out and about on the tiles last night and they attended the GQ Man of the Year Awards. And you know what? Harry popped up as a guest. Yes, he did. He was giving awards away. I cannot believe, one, that GQ would use him. I'll tell you why. Because even negative publicity is still publicity, and it ensured that the GQ Man of the Year Awards were across every single newspaper this morning. Harry typically used this moment to launch another attack on the media over misinformation and people peddling lies. Are you for real? How can he do that after all of the stuff that's been debunked on Oprah, all of the porcupines he's been telling? And here he is talking about misinformation and people peddling lies on social media. Admittedly, he was talking about the worldwide bug, the jab that they're trying to convince everyone to do. And he's saying that lots of people are only not having it done because of misinformation. But I'm sorry, lots of people are choosing not to have it done because they can choose. Harry said it's a common refrain my wife and I, yes, my wife and I, have heard in convenings with vaccine experts, heads of industries, community advocates and global leaders. Really, who? I'd love to know. You're telling me that the ex-Deal or No Deal D-list cable TV actress on a Canadian TV show, Harry, that barely scraped through with 2 A-levels. In fact, one of those A-levels, which was art, he had to have his teacher cheat. So he passed. You can Google this, it's actually true. Who cheats in an art exam? And here they are saying that they're meeting with global world leaders, the top of, these big corporations. Who the hell are they to be giving any sort of meetings to Harry and Meghan? What are they going to sit there and do? Tell them what they should do and they're automatically going to go, oh, we must listen. Harry and Meghan have spoken. Oh, hail our global leaders that without them, we would not know what to do with ourselves. How did the world survive before Meghan met Harry? Wow, since they left the royal family and became the global leaders that they are, telling us what to do day in and day out. I don't know about you, but I'm so grateful that it only took until I was 38 to finally know what to do with my life. In Harry's speech, we had the usual buzzwords about humanity, surviving, empowering, global leadership. Typical Meghan buzzwords. You know she's writing a damn speech. He's like a little ventriloquist dummy. And to be honest with you, he looks more like a dummy as in a real person. He looked like hell. He looks unwell. He's got no light in his face. There's no smile. There's no joy there. He's dead behind the eyes. I don't know, like someone posted on Twitter that maybe it's because they've got the big cannabis factory or something, that the fumes are wafting over Montecito, because he certainly looks like that he is not firing on all cylinders. Harry went on to say, our nation. Yes, he used the words our nation. Sorry, Harry, you quit our nation and called us all racists. So your nation is now America, your adopted country. If you can actually try and leave pissing them off by talking about how bonkers their amendments are. And the final bit that got me on this, right, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I found this absolutely patronising. He was giving the awards to two of the women that helped obviously come up with the vaccine for us. He called them two ordinary people who pulled off an extraordinary feat whilst dealing with everyday stresses that come with being full-time mums and breadwinners in a poorly paid field. So you've just announced to the world on stage it's a poorly paid field, so you've just basically turned and said they get paid shit money, by the way. They don't get the sort of money that we've got, that I'm preaching to all of you guys. They're poor people. And as for talking about the mums, we know that's Meghan in the background, isn't it? She tried to get that Carolyn McCall woman to side with her by saying, you know, that we're both mothers. And you know this is Meghan trying it here by saying that they're both mums and breadwinners. I'm sorry, but did they tell Harry what their husbands do? How does he know what their husbands do? Why is he talking about them being mothers like it's a hindrance? And as for Harry, yet again, talking about working mothers, as again, this is Meghan, isn't it? They live in an £11 million mansion, right? They have got gardeners. They have no doubt got chefs. They have got housekeeping staff. They've got teams. We've seen the number of people that work for them. They have no doubt got endless stream of nannies. How much spare time must they both really have on their hands? A Zoom call here, a letter here. I mean, gosh, I don't know how any other working mother in the world manages to cope. As I said, it absolutely bamboozles me why GQ would pick Harry to basically give a speech. It's a UK awards ceremony. Harry lives in LA. He's ditched the country. London gives him the heebie-jeebies. He's so scared of cameras, but we never really see him off of a camera these days. He peddles lies and information about his family, yet preaches to everyone else about peddling lies and misinformation. He's attacked Queen and country, and yet he's sitting there talking about our nation. Sorry, Harry, I'm pretty sure that not just myself, but a lot of the UK public no longer actually see this as your nation. So that's it for this video. I am doing the Omen Scobie Finding Freedom additional video, and that'll be coming to you tomorrow. So take care for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I hope you all have a very fabulous and wonderful Thursday. Take care for now. Bye. I sound a bit like a children's TV presenter when I do that goodbye, don't I? Yeah. Bye-bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.